Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 3-4 LA Clippers are back out on the road in Phoenix to take on the 3-5 Suns and Mr. Sun Devin Booker, who signed a 2-year, $145 million extension to keep him Phoenix's favorite Sun till at least the summer of 2030. And he's fulfilling his end of the bargain, averaging 31 points per game so far this year. And the Clippers will see him in back-to-back games starting tonight in Phoenix in this home-and-home, coming off the Clippers' first back-to-back of the season, where at Intuit Dome, well, it wasn't enough to save them against the Heat or Thunder on Tuesday night, or without Kawhi and Bradley Beal. The Clippers put up a fight in the first half at least, but the OKC Thunder would pull away by the fourth to win 126-107. Here was Coach Lou postgame on the loss.
I thought we came out with the right intent. 0 turnovers in the first quarter. Then we have 8 in the second quarter, which allowed them to get back in the game. And then just some coverages where we just messed up and they got open shots after open shot after open shot. So we got to clean those things up. But, coming into the game, I thought our intent was really good. I thought, that second quarter on through, their pressure kind of hurt us, kind of sped us up. We couldn't get into our sets. And kind of took us out of our offense and kind of took us out of our rhythm as well.
We'll see if the Clippers can refine that rhythm and get back to their winning ways tonight. Tip-off from Phoenix between the Clippers and Suns is just about 59 minutes away. Coming up here on your pregame show, we'll have assistant coach Brian Shaw on, and Law Murray will join me. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off is just about 56 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, you're going to hear from assistant coach Brian Shaw. But first, let's get out to Phoenix and get your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing, my friend?
Adam, it is so good to hear your voice. I'm doing good. Not as good as if I saw your face while I got to hear your voice. But, I'll take half of a smile for today. I'm doing good.
There's ways around that. Fire up the laptop. Let's go here.
I'm trying. I'm connecting. We'll get there.
Clippers looking to get underway and back to winning ways in Phoenix tonight after losing the last two games, a back-to-back at home. In that second game, dropping it without Bradley Beal and Kawhi Leonard. Tonight, still without the Claw and no James Harden in Phoenix. But Looked like the Clippers effort-wise was in the right place, and their intent was there, as Coach Lou said post-game in that loss to OKC on Tuesday. They just ran out of talent against, well, the defending champs there, Carlo.
Yeah, the most talented team in the NBA, one could argue, Adam, and a team that finally shot the three ball well for the first time all season. So a couple things going against them in that game. A tough one for the Clippers. Nonetheless, Adam, I thought overall for this Clipper team, they got a lot of guys going at the end of that game that had been struggling coming in. Brooke Lopez had a great game, finished with 12 points, knocked down 4 threes on 4 tries. I thought the Clippers got Bogdan Bogdanovic a couple of good looks. He finished with 11 points. Ty Lue said post game he finally was playing without thinking, and you could see that on the floor. He was really able to be decisive and make the right play every single time. So for those two guys, I thought it was a big game for the Clippers because, as you know, Adam, you can gain a lot even if the outcome isn't what you expect. And the Clippers are hoping they get two key bench pieces back on track.
No doubt. You can learn from failure, build towards a victory. Hopefully that happens tonight. You mentioned Bogey. He brought up the basketball a lot. He was doing that to help out James Harden. Without James Harden, he's going to be asked to do even more of that.
Yeah.
The ball handling responsibilities for him in this ball game are going to be big. Same with CP3, Chris Paul. This is one of the reasons they brought him in, to alleviate some of the burden with James Harden. Well, no James Harden in this ball game at all. They need a little bit more from CP3. Maybe he can rewind the clock back to his Phoenix Suns days at least.
Yeah, I mean, he played 3 seasons here, 194 starts, a big part of them getting to the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. And Chris Paul, I'm sure, will get an ovation here in now Mortgage Matchup Center. They've changed the name from Footprint. It was Phoenix Arena last year. We're now at Mortgage Matchup Center. But nonetheless, Adam, Chris Paul is somebody who seems to be beloved everywhere he goes, and he's able to play really his role. I mean, you think about the comfort of all these guys, right? Now here's an opportunity for Chris Paul. He's probably going to play anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes tonight, which is what he was doing in San Antonio last season, averaging 28 minutes a game. Can the Clippers get him the ball, and can he get the Clippers organized on offense? So much, especially last season, the Clippers relied on James Harden to get everybody organized, right? And so now they do not have that person on the hardwood. It is most likely going to be Chris Paul, who will make sure everybody's in the right place at all times.
Yeah, get everybody else in rhythm, get himself back in rhythm here. Would like to see that also with Ivica Zubac. You would assume get some extra run tonight. Didn't play heavy minutes against OKC. And quite honestly, in that third quarter, they tried to get him going. Big Zoo was just having an off night. We know how good the OKC Thunder's defense is as well, and the different bodies they will throw at you down low in the post there. Ivica Zubac is due for a breakout performance.
He is due for a breakout performance. I mean, he's been somebody who has struggled to really find rhythm offensively this year. And part of that, as Ty Lue talked about, is he isn't as much of a focal point on the offensive end. A guy who used to attempt maybe 12 to 13 shots a game is now getting anywhere from 6 to 8 shots a game. And that's a big difference when you think you have to put a lot more pressure on your attempts because you know they're going to be limited. Ideally, the Clippers would like him to play free. I think he will continue to play free for this Clippers team as the season goes along. But he's got an opportunity against a Phoenix Sun team, Adam, that has some depth at the big position in Mark Williams, Nick Richards. They bring off the bench Nigel Hayes-Davis. He can kind of play center. And then their top 10 overall pick, Kaman Malawak, also a great big center. So there is a lot of depth at the center spot here in Phoenix. Ivica Zubac has to be excellent. And I'd expect him, Adam, to get the first shot of the game. It seems like Ty Lue likes to get Big Zoo the ball early and often. That often leads to success.
Yeah, that gets him going, gets him in attack mode. The Clippers are going to have to be there from the get-go. Without Kawhi, without James Harden tonight in Phoenix, they're taking on the Suns and Devin Booker. And, oh, yeah, Jalen Green is getting his first start in a Phoenix Suns uniform. Tip-off is just about 51 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Coming up next, he's got his one-on-one interview with assistant coach Brian Shaw. I'm Adam Moslins, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off is just about 48 minutes away. Welcome back in. It's Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. We'll take things back to 2006 for a playoff series between these two in the first, make it second round that year. Still to come, we'll also have La Murray on. He talked with the head coach in Teron Lou earlier. But first, let's go back over to Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with assistant coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Phoenix Suns. Coach, Derrick Jones Jr. coming off a year where he averages a career high in points and three-point percentage. It's early, but he's on a pace to set a new career high in both those categories. What has he done this season to continue to get better?
Well, he's one of the guys that you always see in the gym working. Jay Larinaga does a great job with him and all his gadgets and contraptions that he has in the gym. So it's obviously paying dividends for him. But, just working, and he gains confidence from the guys who do most of the ball handling, James, that he can knock down those shots. And, when the other team is double teaming James or Kawhi, it leaves a guy like him open. And so, when he puts in the work, we have a saying, when you pay your dues pay you back. So that's what we're seeing, him steadily getting better and better, knocking down those open shots.
You look at this team, and you got a lot of guys playing new roles, CP3, Brooke, John Collins, who started a lot of their careers, now are moving to a bench role. What is that adjustment like as a player?
Yeah, I mean, it can be tough, because you go from warming up before the game starts to then having to go down and sit down for, maybe the whole first quarter, but somewhere between 8 to 12 minutes before you actually get some action out on the floor. So it takes some getting used to. But, first half of my career, I started. In the second half of my career, I came off the bench. And the advantage that you have coming off the bench is you get a chance to the guys who start, they find out right away in the moment how the other team is playing, whether it's pick and roll situation or whatever it is. So when you're on the bench and you're watching, you get to actually see how they're playing the starters, so that when you check in, now you can anticipate what's going to happen because you get the advantage of seeing how they're going to play it.
Last one for you, Coach, but you guys played this Phoenix team a little over a week ago. They have Jalen Green now, obviously no James and Kawhi for you guys. What are you going to need from maybe a Brad or a John Collins tonight to try to come away with a win?
Well, we obviously will play different, than a lot different than what we play when Kawhi and James are out there. So, that's kind of left to be seen. Yeah. It'll be more, getting it done by committee, flying around on, defensively, and maybe creating some opportunities to get out in the fast break by or in transition by getting turnovers. But I'm looking forward to seeing, over the years, the guys that have been here have played without Kawhi before, not so much James. And, we've kind of become reliant on James setting the table for everybody. So this will give, everybody an opportunity to go get it themselves, or like I say, just let the ball take what the defense gives them, and kind of play a different role. So I'm excited to looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Thank you so much, B-Shaw. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
Assistant coach Brian Shaw there with Carlo Jimenez. Pregame as we get set for the Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off 44 minutes away. Up next here on Clippers Countdown, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers return to the road. They're out in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip off 42 minutes away. I'm Adam Mosland. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, your player to watch, La Murray of The Athletic, will join us as well. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back to May 14th of 2006 in theaters at that time. You had the horror movie Silent Hill. Hottest song on the radio was Temperature by Sean Paul, and the Clippers were feeling the heat in a big second-round series against the Phoenix Suns.
Shot clock at 10.
Sam Cassell loves these moments.
Sam Cassell! Nash for three. Thomas for three.
Sam Cassell, how many times have we seen this? Big shots after big shot. His team was struggling. Elton Brand had knocked in a shot to push it to three. He makes the three to push it to six. It's the guy who watched a lot of the fourth quarter the other night when his team saw the game slip away. Mike Dunleavy not taking that chance tonight.
Sam Cassell, one of the best big shot takers and makers in NBA history, helped tie that series up at 2 games apiece with that big three-pointer late. Clippers would win 114-107 back at Staples Center there in Game 4 of the second round against the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunately, eventually falling in 7 games to the 7-second or less Suns, with Mike D'Antoni and Steve Nash running the show. Clippers in Phoenix tonight get their first look at Jalen Green, as we all do, in a Phoenix Suns uniform. Tip-off is just 40 minutes away. Coming up next, my player to watch, as you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Hey. Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip-off just 38 minutes away. I'm Adam Mosland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Coming up, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
well, in a game missing some key players, I would say, for this Clippers team. More on that coming up. I'm watching Big Zoo. All eyes on Zoo. He had just 7 points last time out on just 8 shots. That was on Tuesday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Only played 26 minutes, and in fact, Over his last 3 games, he's only been getting up single-digit shot attempts. 7 against the Pelicans, 9 shots against Miami, 8 shots against OKC and the Thunder. I don't know if the Clippers can win this game if he doesn't get up 15 shots or more against this Phoenix Suns ball club. They need more scoring from him. They need him to be more aggressive. They try to get him going in the second half, in particular the third quarter. And Big Zoo, I don't say this often, was not able to deliver for them. I expect to see that happen tonight. He's off to a slow start so far this season. It's just 7 games, but they're taking on Phoenix. The Suns are also struggling. They're 3-5 so far. Ivica Zubac has to help punish them in the paint in this ball game. My player to watch, Big Zoo. Coming up next, we'll have Carlo Menez eventually, but we'll get to that injury report, as I alluded to. And then La Murray of The Athletic here on Clippers Countdown, as we're just 36 minutes away from tip-off. Clippers taking on the Suns in Phoenix, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Suns from Phoenix. Tip-off just 33 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we're going to have La Murray on from The Athletic, joining us from Phoenix. But let's get to that injury report. For the Clippers, Kawhi's still out with the ankle injury going back to the end of that game against Miami on Monday night at Intuit Dome. And James Harden out for personal reasons. So the Clippers are going to have some guys step up. Bradley Beal is still on a minutes restriction. I mentioned Ivica Zubac earlier, but CP3, Brooke Lopez, some of these other guys are really going to have to contribute in a big way on the offensive end that maybe don't or haven't so far this season. Even DJ and Chris Dunn going to have to help him out there. Nico Batum, hopefully he can knock down some threes for this Clippers team. He's in the starting lineup. More in the starting lineup coming up next with La Murray. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Right. Clippers and Phoenix taking on the Suns. Tip off 30 minutes away. Welcome back in to the only game in the association tonight. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. As we get set for the Clips in Phoenix, still to come. We'll get to your drive around the league. I guess I'll come up with some news stories here because there aren't any other scores going on. Let's get out to Phoenix with La Murray of The Athletic. La, thanks for joining me once again here on Clippers Countdown.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All right, let's start with the elephants in the room, the most obvious things to talk about. I guess it's the turnovers. You mentioned it with Coach Lou pregame. What have you seen so far from this team? Is the NBA just playing so fast that the Clippers are a step behind even more so than usual?
I mean, I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Guys are just not taking care of the ball. Guys think that passes are there when they're not, getting too deep into the paint, just being careless in situations where you can't be careless. And then we can give defenses some credit. They play teams that are actively trying to take the ball away from you. I mean, I knew before I knew when the schedule came out, they were going to turn the ball over against Oklahoma City Thunder. They do that every time they play this version of the Thunder.
Yeah.
So there are games where you look and it's like they're going to turn the ball over. There are players when you look and it's like they're going to turn the ball over every quarter. And then there are guys you look and it's like the more they have the ball, the more likely they are to turn the ball over. And there's just not a lot of relief from a shot creation and ball handling standpoint. The Clippers went into this all season specifically to address that. And the two guys that they've wanted to acquire to address that haven't quite addressed it yet. And both because they can't really play the kind of minutes to make a difference. Chris Paul, we obviously know that in year 21, it looks like it's really been tough for him to really adjust to who he's playing with and how defense are playing him. And then Bradley Beal. Fascinating Bradley Beal game tonight with no James Harden and no Kawhi Leonard, and in a building that absolutely will react to him after how those 2 years in Phoenix went. This team needs Bradley Beal to scale up. This would be an ideal night to do it, and I'm not sure he's ready to do that.
Can he scale up still on a minutes restriction? Do we know if the minutes are scaling up for him in this ball game?
I know it doesn't sound like they are. It sounds like Brad's just going to have to deal with what he's given and be as good as he can in the time that he's given to be it. But I'm concerned about the level of what you're going to get from a shot creation standpoint. This is where it all comes down to. Even with James Harden's turnovers, the offense is pretty damn good when he's on the floor. He's James Harden. Like, he'll turn the ball over, but he also gets himself shots and gets his teammates shots. He's been pretty damn efficient, relatively speaking. He's the one guy who gets to the line. He hasn't been shooting in the low 40s, like James has gotten off to outstanding first halves. We saw that against the Thunder. You saw that in Golden State a week ago. And the issue is this whole thing craters when James is off the floor, and that's really bad sign for the Clippers because James was really good last year and played a lot last year, and everyone was cognizant about the fact that because of the workload and his stage of his career, he needs help. The help was supposed to come from Brad. The help was supposed to come from a healthy Kawhi. The help was supposed to come from a bench that had a plethora of guys who can handle and play make, and it hasn't really happened to that degree yet. There's plenty of time, obviously, but the Clippers are behind.
Yeah, and that's part of my concern here. The turnovers cut down significantly when Kawhi got back into the fold and was really playing like himself at the end of last season. They have him the first 5 games of this season, and they're still turning the basketball over. Is there a lack of urgency with this ball club that I felt throughout the years here and there where it just seems like, a veteran group like this, sometimes they wait to engage or they have to get punched in the mouth and be down 12-2 like they were against Miami to then flip things around?
Yeah, I'm not going to give them that much credit. You just can't. To a degree, Adam, they're not good enough. Like, that's what we got to be honest with this team about. There are guys who used to be great. They're not so great anymore. There are some guys who they are being defended a certain type of way, and some of it is the offense and the style of offense where the book is out on the Clippers. Put pressure on those dudes, even if they have the attention of detail to start the game well on that end of the floor. We saw it first half against the Miami Heat. We saw it first quarter against Oklahoma City Thunder. It eventually breaks, and when it breaks for the Clippers, it comes in bunches, like the bananas that you get in Donkey Kong Country. Like, I've seen this team go from 0 turnovers to 10 turnovers in a matter of 10 minutes.
You're calling him Grandpa Kong right now? Is that what I just heard? He's like winding up the music at the beginning of the intro to that game.
Cranky Kong. He has a name, and apparently he was the original DK. So like that's what we're getting. It's like, I don't want to be like, oh, it's early in the season, they'll do this. It's like we can say that, and if it gets better, we'll note when it gets better. Right now, it's not good enough, and some of it is guys aren't being good enough. Like, certain guys aren't good enough. So that's their single biggest issue. You want to know why the defense is so bad, and they give up if you're giving up 30 points off of turnovers, then that's going to hurt your defense. It's not just the turnovers; it's the kind of turnovers. You're giving up pick sixes. It was talked about in training camp. It was talked about in the preseason. It was talked about after game one. Like, after a while, you're just not good enough.
Something else that's been talked about, especially with the fan base, and you asked Coach Lou earlier about John Collins and what he needs to show out there and what he needs to improve in. Could you just give us the synopsis and also what you've seen? Because I think you had an interesting number there.
Yeah, John, when he was traded here, and again, this team traded Norman Powell, who a lot of y'all didn't appreciate by the end. They traded Norman Powell to get John. And people just, again, I feel like everyone looks at John's statistics and highlights and his physical profile, and they're like open shut case. Just start him, And I mean, once he got Bradley Beal, I'm like, I know who should probably, be considered to start. I know who the guys. I think the Stars would probably prefer John to start. I mean, I think that's the case. But the identity of the team last year was point of attack defense for 48 minutes, just like we talk about rim protection for 48 minutes. And someone was going to be the odd man out there. And this team needs Bradley Beal to be good. This team. John is a luxury more than a necessity. He's a necessity from you need that guy on your roster. John Collins needs to be on this Clippers roster. Whether he starts or not is going to really take away from, are you going to handle the ball well offensively? Are you going to defend well at the point of attack? If the Clippers could put 6 dudes out there, I think it would make a lot of sense for people. Unfortunately, you only get 5 starters. And when you talk about a starting lineup, you're talking about your most played lineup and what you want to do the most on defense and how you want to process and who you play through offensively. And I think offensively, John would be fine. And defensively, that's where it's the point of attack thing. You're picking one. I think people want Bradley Beal to come off the bench, and it's like, I think that would maintain the defensive identity, but I think offensively, I think it kills your opportunity to be better as far as creation. And that's John's biggest issue to me. I think the biggest issue to T. Lou is where he is on the floor, the location of where, I'm not talking about shot location. I'm talking about, are you in the dunker spot? Are you in the ball screen? Are you out in the corner? T. Lou hasn't had a 4 like this, and he likes to space his floors, especially understanding that the 4 is probably out of the play completely. John's fine when he's finishing. Taking the shot in the paint, dunking it. He's been great there. But where John struggles is if he has to, make the next play. John's not a connector right now. And that's the biggest thing, I think, the biggest disconnect that I think a lot of people have when it comes to John and his role right now. If John could make the right play consistently and take care of the ball, then this team would be better. John would be better. I think he gets more minutes. I think you can trust him more with everything that the team does offensively. Right now, he's not there. I think he will be there eventually. John Collins probably should be starting over a guy like Nico Batum, but he's not there yet. And then defensively, it's like, he hasn't been terrible, but it's clear that the team is trying to get him to understand where he's supposed to be, the communication, the awareness off the ball, all those things. So it's going to be tricky because, again, everyone looked at John and was like, this is the guy we wanted for years, and here he is being underutilized or underused, and it's a complicated thing. And I think people don't like Tyronn Lue, so all those complications come to a head when you're not winning games.
Yeah, to the point people in here are like, I don't care about offensive ratings and how good they are when they don't turn the basketball over. They can't run real offense. It's like, well, their offense is pretty good if they just don't turn the ball over. But Ivica Zubac hasn't been great so far this year, Law, and I was a little bit concerned, especially the second half. The starts of the second half, he gets a hook shot. You can see their intent was to get him going in that third quarter against OKC, and they needed to desperately, and they'll need that again tonight. But that was one of the few times where I was like, Zoo's not being aggressive enough. It's not about them forgetting about Zoo and not getting him the basketball. Some of that is also on him. It goes both ways.
I'm interested to see what we get from Zoo. Unlike Tuesday against Oklahoma City with Kawhi out and Brad out, this is a game where, again, Brad's not ready to be Brad yet. And I don't know if Brad even exists anymore. So you need somebody to absorb touches and get shots. And Zoo was very good against the Phoenix Suns in the home opener 2 weeks ago. And the Suns, I'm not sure, they didn't get any good center play. They started Oso Ighodaro. They will not be starting Oso Ighodaro tonight. And Oso doesn't even play a lot of center anymore. Mark Williams is going to be the starting center, and he's a way bigger body. Mark has a reputation for not having the best motor and not being where he's supposed to be, but this is a matchup where Mark Williams would do well because where Zoo's going to be. The biggest issue with the Clippers beyond Zoo is they are predictable. They are a mismatch offense. They're powerful when they beat you, even when you know when it's coming. But if you can play good pick and roll defense, if you have good ISO guys, if you guys who can press, you're going to be able to defend the Clippers. You're going to be able to put pressure on them or at least turn them over. The Suns turned the Clippers over a lot. And so the thing with Zoo is if he got the ball, he killed the Suns. Who's going to get Zoo the ball? Chris Dunn and Bradley Beal are your play starters tonight. Yeah. Chris Paul is coming off the bench, and Chris has had a really rough go of it. We're going to see some things. And with Zoo, it comes down to I'm not sure how he gets his touches, but when he gets his touches, he's got to put somebody in the basket. He plays this. He loves playing here. He's got to be really good tonight.
Hopefully Nico can help with some of those entry passes as he typically does as a connector out there. Last question for you here, Law. What do you expect from Jalen Green and his fit with this Phoenix Suns team?
This is going to be fascinating. Jalen's missed a lot of time with the hamstring, and he's just now debuting. And the Suns have been terrible along with the Clippers as far as turning the ball over while not getting to the free throw line at a high rate. Jalen Green's not a high turnover guy, and when he's at his best, he does get to the free throw line. Jalen can be one of the worst heavy on-ball players in the league. But that was under the Houston Rockets. Jordan Knott is different. I expect there to be a lot faster pace, more pick and roll. If Jalen is truly healthy, and I know he's explosive, they took their time with Jalen Green. If Jalen Green's truly healthy, he's the kind of guy that the Clippers, they have issues with. Now, the Clippers are starting a defense-first lineup. They're starting Dunn. They're starting Batum. They're starting Jones. They're starting Zubac. They're bullying Brad Beal to be a better defender. The Clippers shouldn't have issues defensively. They really shouldn't. And, attending to someone like Jalen Green is a part of that. When Jalen Green's a streaky guy, when he's got it going, he looks like a guy who should be an all-star. When he doesn't have it going, like I said, he can be one of the most inefficient on-ball players in the league. I would tend to have lower expectations because the Suns don't even know how many minutes he can play. A lot is going to be determined with the first 5 minutes of this game. If that dude is flying and making plays and beating the Clippers' best defensive lineup, it might be a long night for the LA Clippers.
Yeah, he can play like his hair is on fire sometimes. So appropriate now that he's a Phoenix Sun, I guess. It is Law Murray of The Athletic. At Law Murray, VNU is where you find him. And, of course, we have him on all the time here on Clippers Countdown. Law, appreciate your work. Thanks for doing this and the free analysis, my friend.
Hey, thank you so much. Enjoy the games, and hopefully we can get these flights going on time.
Get out of there safely, Law. Coming up next, we'll get your drive around the league. Clippers and Suns tipping off from Phoenix just about 15 minutes from now. Don't forget, Carlo Jimenez is on the call. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Tip-off is just 13 minutes away. This is the only game in the association tonight, believe it or not. So the Clippers have the spotlight on them. They got to deliver. They're 3-4, and they have their next 2 games against this Phoenix Suns team. Remember, this is a home and home tonight in Phoenix, Saturday, back at Intuit Dome. This Clippers team, though, you can't fall too far down in the standings if you want to have home court in the first round. Right now, they're 9th in the West at 3-4. The Phoenix Suns right behind them at 3-5 in that 10th spot. So we're talking about well in the play-in, where if you lost in the 9-10 game, your season is over. Clippers have much bigger aspirations than that. Last season, they ended up in that 5 spot. Remember, by the end of the year, they went on that 18-3 run in the last 21 games and had to win that final game up in San Francisco against the Golden State Warriors just to stay out of the play-in. It would sure help to get a win tonight against Phoenix and also just have a rallying cry type of victory, because this team is missing their 2 best players in Kawhi and James Harden, but they still have enough to get this victory. Clippers and Suns tipping off 12 minutes from now. Coming up next, it's back to Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Countdown here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Suns in Phoenix. Tip-off just about 9 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, and coming up, we'll get to your keys to victory. But first, back out to Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, my friend, tell me about this Phoenix Suns team and what we should expect tonight as they're adding one of their biggest additions into the lineup for the first time.
Yeah, it's a good point, Adam, because I would say I know what to expect. But with Jalen Green now back in, I really don't know what to expect. I mean, this is a team that they have survived a lot of bad performances or bad stretches because of Devin Booker. He's been unbelievable. Best 8-game start to his career, Adam. He's averaging 33 points since he scored a season-low 18 against the Clippers at Intuit Dome on 51-45 shooting splits. That's 51% for the field, 45% for the three-point line over 6 games. He has been lights out. But when he's off the floor, they have struggled to find that offense. This is a Phoenix team that has played, Adam, 8 games and trailed by 20 in 6 of them. So they have built some or dug themselves in some pretty deep holes to start this season. But with the addition of Jalen Green, they're looking to balance out the scoring. Jordan Ott talked pregame about how we need to get into the paint. We don't attack the rim enough. Phoenix is bottom 2 in the NBA in free throw rate. That will change with Jalen Green.
So let's go back to the Clippers here. My player to watch in this one is Big Zoo. Feels like he's due for a breakout type of game to this season after really struggling, especially on Tuesday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who do you got tonight here, Carlo?
Who do I got, Adam?
I mean, Zoo was your player to watch, I think, last time out. So
Yeah. Did you just take him so I couldn't? Was that like? It was like
I felt like I
spite?
needed to preemptively before you grabbed him again.
Yeah, it was like you didn't want to do a whole, crisis intervention. So you're like, let me just take Zoo away so Carlo can, have a game off. I appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for me.
Who's your
I'm
player
going to
to
go
watch?
Bradley Beal.
Okay.
I'm going to go Brad Beal. Obvious pick, but somebody who's back here in Phoenix, spent 2 seasons here, averaged 17 points a game in his 109 games. And I'm interested in the reception he gets. I don't think it will be too positive, but I don't know. Well, we're going to find out. Nonetheless, I think Bradley Beal definitely has something to prove. He's talked about how, the minutes have been frustrating. He wants to play more. Ty Lue even mentioned pregame, Adam. He felt really good last time he was playing in the front end of that back-to-back, but just didn't. The medical staff felt like he was at the minutes limit, and they're being very conservative with Bradley Beal, and you understand why. Ty Lue was also asked, how do you manage his minutes? He said, I've had a lot of practice at it in a joking manner. But this Clipper organization understands how to correctly bring guys back to 100%. And they have an incredible medical staff led by Maggie Bryant that has done an awesome job making sure that when guys get back on the floor and they play 34 minutes for the first time, there's no worries about them pulling another hamstring or getting injured again because the ramp-up process is so detailed, so strict, and so the plan is followed, essentially. And so for this Clipper team, Bradley Beal following that plan in his limited minutes, I expect him to play well.
So Nico Batum's still in the starting lineup. It's basically the same starting lineup that we saw Tuesday, but you just switch out James Harden for Bradley Beal. Harden out of this ball game. Beal is back. I like Nico Batum in there. The switchability, the versatility out there, can guard bigs a little bit. Obviously, wings on the perimeter, can do a little bit of everything. And is also such a great connector. Would love to see him get it going from the outside. Another guy who can find his rhythm with maybe more minutes tonight.
Just 1 for 5 last game, almost a 40% three-point shooter a season ago, above 40% a season ago. But, yeah, I'd expect him to be really good from the outside in this contest. He knows he's going to have to score. Nico Batum, talk about a player that every team in the NBA would want. I mean, this is somebody who just does whatever you need on any given night, never complains, never talks about, I want the ball more, never tries to do more than what he knows he's capable of doing, and is excellent on both ends of the floor. And Adam, often when the Clippers need Nico to do a little bit more, he delivers. And so I expect him to have a big game for this Clipper team, knocking down threes, being that versatile 5 that we talked about on the bench. And the biggest thing also is just helping his teammates get open. How many times has Nico Batum passed Ivica Zubac open? It's what they say about great quarterbacks, right? Great quarterbacks throw their receivers open. Ivica Zubac does the same thing on his post-entry passes to Ivica Zubac. Big game coming from your player to watch, Big Zoo.
Making the game easier for everyone. Hopefully much easier for Ivica Zubac. A good work down low on the block there. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. It's the Clippers in Phoenix taking on the Suns. Up next here on Clippers Countdown, we'll get to your keys to victory. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Suns from Phoenix, tip-off moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Clippers in this ball game, of course, it goes without saying you have to be paying attention to Devin Booker, and for good reason. In their 3 victories so far this season with the Phoenix Suns, he's shooting almost 60% from the field and 64% from 3. He's shooting 10% lower in his field goal percentage, from 60% to 48%, so about 12% lower there, and about 30% lower from 3 in losses. If Devin Booker starts to cook, you're in trouble. Hence why you have DJ and Dunn in the starting lineup, and Nico Batum can pick him up as well. Cannot let Devin Booker get comfortable early on in this ball game. And of course, also goes without saying, you can't turn the basketball over the way the Clippers have. They've given up 30 points off of turnovers in 3 of their 7 games so far. The rest of the league has done that 5 times. The Clippers have to be better there. Carlo Jimenez is on the call from Phoenix. Tip-off coming up next. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.